Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. Good evening, BSL. And good evening to everyone else within the sound of my voice, north, south, east, and west. This is the March 4th, 2023 edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. And since it's 3:14, that means today is Pi Day. So you nerds will get it. We nerds will get it. And I am your host and executive producer and van driver and Sunday school teacher and head chef, Mr. Mike Walker. Glad to have each and every one of y'all here with us. And we hope that you had a nice day, a great day today. And if not, well, the day ain't over with yet. And we just hope and pray that things improve, and thank you for choosing to spend at least an hour with us on this Tuesday night. And this we don't take it lightly though. So without further ado, let me speak to my people out there. There's a bunch of y'all here. Mr. Singletary, always fantastic to have you here. Pastor Valters, always good to have you here. Yeah, happy Pi Day. Angela Madison, great to have you here. So great to have you here. Rochelle Ducker, glad to have you here. Jewel, always great to have you here. Always, always. Charlene from the Sunshine State, glad to have you here. Regina from Wisconsin, good to have you here. Teresa, great to have you here from North Carolina. Rhonda, also from the Sunshine State, glad to have you here with us. Sherry from H-Town, always a pleasure to have you here. Preacher's Kid, great, always a pleasure to have you here. Miss Thompson, good to have you here. Wait a minute, that's somebody trying to be funny. Yeah, my list of jobs, it does, don't it? And I ain't received a paycheck yet. Anissa, good to have you here. From north of the border, glad to have you here, Sister Tracy. And thank you for being with us. Okay, thank you. And Brother Will Banks, glad to have each and glad to have you here. Wait, got one more. Lynn Brown from Guyana, good to have you here. Whew, well, that's it right there. That's it, though. We about to jump in. And let me introduce y'all my co-host, all the way from Long Island, New York, sister, missionary, evangelist, Angela Madison. Glad to have you here, Sister Madison. How you feeling today?
I'm doing good, Mike. How are you? Good
I
evening,
am.
everyone.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, y'all. Well, you ready for this?
I hope so.
Okay, wait. Sherry says hello. Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. Wait, let me change something. I try to make this look better, but the classic, yeah, I just might as well stick with that. That looks so much better. People could be seen. Okay, let me get to the comments. Well, I'll do this. No, I shouldn't even did that. Okay, and Mark is saying hello.
Hey, Marcus.
Okay. Okay. Now here we go. The first topic. I'm gonna make this the appetizer before we get to the little main course though.
Okay.
Here we go. Liking someone else's picture. Liking someone else's picture is almost self-explanatory. You're in a relationship, both y'all on social media, on the same social media platform. Some of y'all got the same social media circles though. But you see somebody of the opposite sex and you put a like there. Sometimes you put that heart, you put a love there. And sometimes you put that little emoji hugging a heart or whatever. Then
Mm-hmm.
somebody's in trouble right there though. So we're gonna discuss, is that appropriate or not? And of course, I have a video for this. Uh the language is a little bit salty though. Probably no worse than what some of y'all say every day, but still, nonetheless, I just want to give y'all a warning.
Okay.
Here we go.
I don't know if it's a generation thing, whatever. Like I don't like liking pictures. I don't like that. I don't like that. They be saying
she
I'm
on this
petty
modern
for
day
that.
social media stuff like I don't like no pictures.
Cause I just feel like if you in a relationship and you like somebody picture of the opposite sex, they screenshotting it, sending it to their friends. Like
I hear it all the time.
He trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I got him or I got her. Like, why would I look like liking another nigga picture?
Right.
And I got a nigga. Like,
right.
what that? You know what I'm saying?
So, is it taboo? And I ask you this, Sister Madison, and of course the studio audience. Is it taboo to like someone else's picture of the opposite sex, though? Does that mean that you're trying to get with them? And I'm asking the studio audience because I kind of know what Sister Madison's what she's about to say though. So let me put this thing back up here. Go ahead.
It can be that you're trying to flirt with them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. It could just mean that you have eyes and you like what you see. Not everyone that's going around liking a person's picture means that they're lusting after them. So it could just mean maybe the picture was attached to a particular phrase, or that's their friend and they want to give them a compliment that, hey, you're looking good today. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all like to be, complimented on how we look. Now, if the person is kind of provocative in what they're looking like in that picture, then you might have to question it. But I don't think that it's necessarily something you should refrain from doing it unless you're doing it in excess. And when you're in a relationship, you should show your partner some respect, that you're not being deliberate and just, going around clicking and liking and loving on everyone, because that can lead to a little bit something extra when you're doing that type of behavior. So it really does depend on the scenario of what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Okay, and like you said though, you said the right word, in excess. It's all right to say, hey, like the friend, but every picture you got a heart there. Now, does that mean that this is going to be more than a friend, platonic friendship? Because I've had exes in the past get mad at me. Oh, y'all like each other, don't y'all? Y'all go back. I'm like, no, we just liking each other's pictures or loving each other's pictures, but you can't love on everybody though.
Right.
You can't love on everybody because that could be dangerous.
Exactly. And it also goes back to the person's level of security in the relationship. And if somebody presents to you that, hey, what you're doing, that behavior is making me feel disrespected by what you're doing, that has to be taken into consideration, because if the person continues to do it, then number one, they're disregarding how you feel. But we should have that level of security, number one, in who we are. If I'm in a relationship with you and we've been, fully disclosing with each other that this is not what I'm doing, this is just a friend, and I like who they are, I like what they say, then there shouldn't be a problem. Otherwise, what are we going to do? We get into relationships and we just shut down our social media pages. That's not going to happen. We have Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and we have eyes. We're going to see, but it's just how much we allow ourselves to get involved in these type of behaviors. And some people, they go a little too far and they can make you feel uncomfortable in your relationship.
And like, say one of your boyfriends or your girlfriends out there, platonic friend, they're at the beach, wearing beach attire, bikini or speedo or whatever. And they just showing it, showing it off. And of course you see your significant other put a big old heart there. And then what can make it worse is when they comment in the comment section, they put that sticker emoji, the one that's standing up here like this with the hearts, looking like Now I'm like, hold up, swole up. Something wrong. Why are you doing that? That can be a bit disrespectful. disrespectful though.
It is disrespectful. In that case, it's disrespectful because it's blatant and it's obvious to everyone, especially if other people know that we're in a relationship. But there's a flip side to that. You
Mm-hmm.
can still be looking and lurking and just not make it known that's what you're doing. You can be inboxing the person, you can be calling the person on the side and acknowledging, hey, you looked good in that picture. You just didn't make it publicly known. So at least I can see what you're doing. At least then I can address it and be like, you know what? Why are you doing that? That's disrespecting who I am. That's disrespecting our relationship, and other
Mm-hmm.
people see it, and they're bringing it to my attention as well.
Uh-oh.
But the person can always sit there and just look like lust, and you never know about it. So you have to have a deeper conversation in that particular situation to say, where are we at in this? And are we really exclusive? Are we telling everyone else that it's just us? And, you have to be forthwith as far as figuring out what are they liking and what are they not? Because we all can sit there and have eyes.
Okay. Did you say forthwith?
Okay. Sorry.
Well, now let's read some of these comments. Charlene said, as immature. Rhonda says, yes and no. It depends on the. I said it depends on the picture. If they in a gala or cotillion or whatever those other stuff it is,
Exactly.
and they dressed up, formal. Like
Sunday
I said,
best.
Sunday's best. But if they at the beach or they at Freaknik or something like that, then you're gonna be like, well, why you liking all that? I mean, liking every picture they posted from that event. I'll be looking sideways right there, Rochelle. In a healthy relationship, you liking someone else's picture shouldn't cause any issues because there's trust there. But you can have some trust, but you can't be naive either, though. You kind of have to guard your heart. I mean, nothing wrong. Okay. Is it taboo? No, it's not. Kimberly Murphy. Liking a picture here and there is okay. But if you're like every picture this person posts, then yes, I would have a major issue. And it will make some people uncomfortable. You liking their picture. Like, don't she have a boyfriend? Why she putting hearts next to mine? That'll make you feel like that, Pastor. I often type nice pic doesn't mean I'm trying to get with the person. Doesn't hurt to be nice, and that is very true.
Exactly.
That's very true, but you don't know everybody's motives.
And some people take that totally different. Some people, they have that threshold where they feel as soon as they get that moment of attention on a picture, and again, it goes to the motive as to why they put it out there and to what they're looking for when someone's commenting. Are they looking to attract people? So if you put that heart on it or you put that like or that comment, they could take it to a whole nother level that you never intended it to be, thinking, oh my goodness, this one likes me, this one likes me. And no, it's just you are a decent looking person. You have on a nice suit, a nice dress, your hairstyle is nice, and that's why I'm liking your picture. So it really just has to be a discussion to find out what's the motive behind why the person is doing what they're doing.
Yeah. Tiffany, good to have you. I don't have a problem with liking, but when through heart faces and kissy faces at my man, I'm throwing bows. Just kidding. No, you ain't. I agree with Angela. It's about respect. I can't control what people say to him, but I can address how he responds. Okay, fellas, y'all heard that now. Y'all heard that. I'll be in trouble. If I like a love pictures, I'm going to like love. Don't post if you don't want to have the post liked. That's interesting.
There, it goes to that motive. It goes to the motive as to why the picture is out there. If you're in a picture where you have very low cut tops, why did you put the picture out there? Because someone is going to say, wow, that's not an appropriate picture. But then the other people, they're going to start liking, lusting, loving on the picture. And when you start getting that attention, you have to be ready for the attention. So it's motive on both ends.
I can see it now. Some women let me move this. Be having the stuff all out and say, "Oh, you men all the same." you put it out there. I mean, I'm gonna look, especially if I got my glasses on. Okay. Tiffany says, I'll let you know how it goes when I pull out my summer body and break the internet. Y'all better watch out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm second guessing my likes. Dang it, I don't know. Okay, I haven't sent in. Hey Sheila, how you doing? Okay. Zola. It depends. If it's a friend and she's fully clothed and it's a regular picture or a family member, fine. But I'd have an issue with my significant other liking a picture of someone who's leaving nothing to the imagination. Mm-hmm. Hey, Cassandra. Let me see. Show us again. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Now, if I had my glasses on, okay. Now we, heard from the young lady, but we got another video from a gentleman, and he doesn't speak for all us men. Okay, I'm just going to say that right now. He doesn't speak, but this is something to kind of don't look like that, Angela. It's something to kind of think about, though. So y'all take a listen.
So my ex-girlfriend used to get extremely upset about me liking other women's pictures, right? And I always say, I'm just liking pictures that don't mean nothing. Okay. Let's be honest about this. I was flirting with every single girl's picture that I double tapped. This isn't every guy, but you should know, you know what type of guy you're dealing with for as a woman. You know if the guy can control himself, and at that time I wasn't that type of guy that can control itself. I had my tongue out on just about anything that was bad enough to have my tongue out at. I was that type of guy, and the woman in my life at the time, she knew that. So if I was liking another woman's picture, I was damn near effing them at the same time. All right, I wasn't just liking pictures, I was liking them for a reason. I was lusting. And that's what majority of guys are doing. We are lusting after other women while we're in a relationship instead of lusting for our women. I'm sorry to put this out.
And again, he's not speaking for all of us.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Because that just sounds like what he does. What he does. Every one of them I liked, then I've had sex with them. Now think about that. Everyone.
Exactly.
Because
that sets up a dangerous situation for the person he was in the relationship with, not just mentally, emotionally, but physically, that he was bringing that to her.
And he need his tail whipped whopped. I've been on date with a wandering eye. I'm like, dude, you're not Casper. I can see you. Okay. Kim says, okay, so if he's like that, then why even be in a relationship?
And that's true. That's true. Why even enter into a relationship if you're not ready to be in one, and you know that you still have that wandering eye? You're on social media still liking, and as he said, liking and lusting. Why even go into something like that? I mean, we can't escape social media. We're going to see the videos, we see the reels, we see all of this stuff just coming at us, every single millisecond, and we're going to wander. But if you're not ready, you can't have self-discipline, especially in a relationship. Matter of fact, before you enter a relationship, you need to have some self-discipline as to what you're going to allow yourself to be exposed to. And you can't just troll like that and just say, you know what, I'm going to go around and physically sleep with everyone that I like. That's just not correct to do at all. That's not.
And the thing about him is, and you and I talk about this all the time. He does all this. He's spreading the sunshine at every opportunity he can have, but he's gonna meet that right one, the one that he really like. Instead of these entanglements, there was that word entanglements that he's in. He gonna find that one that he really like, and she's not gonna give him the time of day.
Exactly.
He's not speaking for me. That was his problem to say that, Marcus. that he needs to fix. He made that mistake by flirting and lusting on other women's pictures. So why put me in the mix? I'm just saying.
Right.
Okay, some guys get in a relationship knowing that he's not right. I just say some people get in a relationship knowing that they're not ready. You know, some people just want to say I'm in a relationship, but
Right.
I didn't
And
know. Go
it's
ahead.
one of those things that I think someone said the other day, that they idolize the fact of it's being a relationship. They're not even ready for it. It's just the ideal of being in one. And when you're sitting there and you know you have that behavior, it's going to follow you. Because when you said like he finds that right one, guess what? Even if they do start to get into a relationship, all of those people that he was on social media with,
Mm-hmm.
liking and loving and lusting after, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to tiptoe into her DM and be like, hey, I just want you to know who you dating right now. He was with me. He was doing this with me and he was doing that. So now it's going to set off alarms and flags in that person's mind. I can't
Mm-hmm.
trust this person. Did they ever change? And now they're going to be suspect and paranoid over every single thing that individual does on social media. Don't even start yourself off that way. Learn to discipline yourself.
Okay. It made me think about Boomerang. How Eddie Murphy was womanizer. Then I guess he found the right one.
Mm,
Then things went loose. Let me get this right here. Tiffany Murphy. That comes with communicating what behaviors make you uncomfortable in a relationship, i.e., social media usage, interactions with friends of the opposite sex, etc. Well,
exactly.
I think if you're in a relationship and you're about to start a relationship, y'all should just sit down and say, hey, I got a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends. Hey, and I tend to interact with them on social media. So, but also be cognizant to his or her feelings and saying, hey, I'm going to respect you. I'm not going to sit there and do all those likes, you know, and also give them the assurance that I'm not hitting their DMs either,
Hmm.
and nor are they hitting mine.
Right.
Okay. So now that was a good appetizer, wasn't
It was.
it? That was a good appetizer. So you know what? We're gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna
Hmm.
move on to the next, I guess the main course, the hamburger and French fries. Uh okay, folks. Let me get that one right here. And this what y'all came here for. I'm rejected because I'm different. You see the sad emoji. I'm rejected because I'm different. Most of us aren't perfect. Okay. And I'm not talking about attitude, but some of us have something wrong with us. Some of us have physical shortcomings, you know. Some of us have emotional and mental shortcomings, you know. Uh, we may have to take medication for mental illness. We may have to go see the doctor on a weekly basis because of a chronic illness or what have you, or a chronic condition. And sometimes that can play a part in whether or not you can find that special someone. Hence the title, I'm rejected because I'm different. And last week I found this video of, I'm gonna give you a background of a young man. He's on the spectrum. He has Asperger's, and he feels that he's been rejected because of his condition. So, with that said, let's just take a listen. His name is Darius.
Hey y'all, I got a question. Am I the only one that gets rejected by a lot of females? Because every time when I try to talk to a female, she always be like, you don't need to know my name. When I try to ask her name, try to get to know her for her personality. And also, when I try to talk to females, they always ignore me. They always block me. Even though when I said, hey, how are you? And my name's Ladarius, I want to get to know you because I think you're I think you're a kind person, and I am a respectful person that has a lot of common sense, and I kept getting constantly rejected by a lot of females. I'm afraid that I would never have no wife, no girlfriend, because they keep rejecting me because they think I'm ugly and unattractive, and I know I'm not. Yeah, I think I would never get a girlfriend because I'm afraid because of talking to a female, because I'm afraid of a lot of females reject me again, and I don't want to keep getting hurt again. But I kept getting rejected by a lot of females, and that bothers my soul a lot. And it makes me sad a lot because I don't think no female would want me, nor want to go out with me, nor want to get to know me, because every female that I try to talk to kept constantly reject me, and it's sad to me. It always happened to me, like somebody put a curse on me that a lot of females don't want to speak to me, nor want to communicate with me, nor want to get to know me, just like I want to get to know them for their personality. It's like every female don't want me. Every female don't want to go out with me because they think I'm unattractive and they think I'm ugly, which is sad. And another thing, I hope somebody will give me a chance to get to know them, so that way I could get to know them as friends first, and once we get to know each other a lot, then we can date. And I hope someday it will happen to me. I hope that person will give me a chance, because I've been rejected a lot since high school, and I'm still rejected now, and I'm 25 years old, and I still kept getting rejected by a lot of females, which is sad on my part. It always happened to me, and it saddens me a lot.
Mm. Yeah, let's take that deep breath. Yeah, okay. And he says, yes, okay. Yeah, yes. AB says he is handsome, young, sensitive, and smart. Thus, he may have to wait a while for the right lady for him. So, yeah. So, not only with him, but, oh, yeah, and I like this right here. Yeah, Tiffany. Okay, this is loaded because if he leaves with all that, I can understand it with all what he said. I would look sideways regardless of who it is. And that could happen. Sometimes you could spill out too much time you meet, but again, he's on the spectrum. And one of the worst things is the social awkwardness.
Cues.
You don't pick up on social cues. A
Mm.
genius and what know everything, but you don't know proper protocol in social settings. You know, it's still a sad situation though. But I get what you're saying though, and I understand. I understand though. You have to learn. You have to be taught that, and what have you though. What you about to say, Angela?
Right. That's a tough one. That is a
Yeah.
very tough one to confront. It's not the normal you got rejected because your hair is too short or your hips are too wide. Those are things that we can all make adjustments for. This is something that is a little bit deeper. When you're sitting there and you hear him, he's very able to, represent himself, and he
Mm-hmm.
has a plan. He wants to make friends first, get to know the person. So it's not like he's just coming out and, probably just doing a whole bunch of likes and less than he's trying to establish
Mm-hmm.
friendship, then on a relationship. He wants to have a girlfriend and then eventually a wife. So he knows
Mm-hmm.
that these are the things that he'd like to have in life. Um, it's just unfortunate that he puts all of that out there of the rejection, which, like, I think what Tiffany's trying to say is that if you're putting all of that out there, that can actually end up fueling into why people continue to reject you.
Mm-hmm.
But with that particular situation, the social
Mm-hmm.
cues are not always obvious. So it has to be a learned behavior
Yes.
where maybe it needs to be mentored and really
Yes.
supported by a community that says, this is how you would act or, approach a person. You don't put all of that out there. When you meet someone, you just have to take it step by step. and maybe that can help. But he's not an ugly person by no means at all. He has an attractive face. He doesn't look like he's all over the place, and he can represent himself. So who knows the way social media is, because if he's on TikTok, the way social media is, either they're going to sit there and do the worst, or someone is going to say, hey, I'm going to give him a chance. He expressed himself, and I'll be the person who will at least try. I mean, it just takes time. And I just pray that he can find the right group to help support him in his journey of that social cues to be able to pick up on.
Okay. Kimberly Murphy says, I can somewhat relate to him because I was always rejected by men because of my weight. But once I started loving myself and knowing my worth, I started speaking positively. The right person will come along in the right time, but he has to speak positively. Yes, and that can be a part of it though. And I mean, I believe it or not, I used to think I was ugly and unattractive. I know that's hard to believe, you know, but yeah, until I realized that, hey, there were women out there that love us economy size fellas. So, hey, I'm like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Ooh, let me take advantage of this. Okay, but like I said, though,
Like.
yeah, like,
Mhm.
so yeah, so I mean, and like you said, Angela, you said a mouthful with that part. He needs a mentor, and he needs a patient family.
Mhm.
Someone to say, hey, bruh. I mean, say, hey, look, this is how you do it, though. You see how she's looking at you? First of all, don't spill all that out right there. Just say, hey, just say how you doing. Hey, you look nice there. Hey, you want me to get you some punch from the punch bowl? Well, no, I'm sounding too old fashioned, but you get what I'm saying, though. We get
Right.
you a beverage, or
Mhm.
something like that, and then just don't talk about your shortcomings, at least not yet.
Mhm.
Just talk about the positive stuff. You
Mhm.
know. Okay, yeah. She
And
said,
I think that goes into like Kimberly was saying, we've all had our levels of rejection. And if you have it at some point in time, you will face it, because we're not perfect. No one is perfect on this earth. But we have our shortcomings, and someone's going to say, they don't like your personality. They don't like what you stand for. They don't like
mm-hmm,
what you believe in. They don't like your size. They don't like how you talk about this, or they don't like what you watch on television or your movie selections. They don't like your political stance. So you have to know how to just sit there and accentuate the positives and not absorb completely the negatives. If it's something you can improve upon and you want to improve upon it,
mm-hmm,
then by all means do so. But if you're feeling good about who you are and you know whom you belong to, then you just
mm,
need to project that even greater, because that's all that really matters. Once you know who you are and who you belong to, then it doesn't really matter what everyone else is saying, because eventually, if someone is for you, that person is not going to be blocked. Somehow you're going to end up being able to have that connection if you so desire to be in a relationship with someone.
yes, ma'am. I just say that. Wait, now they didn't call me out, y'all. Punch bowl. Yeah, I had to catch myself. I really had to catch myself right there. I had to catch myself. And Tracy said, "You're not the punch." But yeah, you can't drink for punch bowl these days. But okay, let me get to let me see. Wait a minute. Yeah, original. It's my prayer that God will change how he looks at himself. Self-confidence is so important. How a person thinks will affect them. So as a man think, so is he. So that was
That's
a
it.
word. That was a word, y'all.
Amen.
Yeah, that was a word, Marcus. That really hits home with anyone. Cold-hearted people who reject the special gifted one. I have heard that certain people being too responsible get rejected as well as as because that's not what version they don't look for. And Tracy Nicole, I think he may benefit from someone helping him to make a connection in person. Social media would not be a place for him to make a genuine connection. Uh, PK says, yes, I think he needs a dating coach to get him some tips with positive affirmation for himself. Teresa is sad, but you have to be honest, in my opinion. I would not want to just go out with him knowing that I'm not interested, and that is true. He is a handsome young man. I have been rejected as well. That's kind of hard to believe, Teresa, but okay. Okay. Let me see. Zola. Sometimes it may help to have a social circle of people who have the same or similar things going on to support each other. Relationships could come out of that.
That's true.
Yeah. So, let me see. In school, I wasn't accepted by some people. I was called a church girl. Well,
You're not alone, Teresa, in that.
So, like I said, though, rejection is a tough thing. And we're not under any obligation to date someone just to make them feel better. None of us are entitled to that. I feel we are entitled to some form of happiness though,
Right.
but in his case though, and other people, like I said, people have been rejected because of their size, ideology, this, that, everything else. And it's a bitter pill to swallow because you're different. You are different because you are considered a nerd or a geek or someone what is it? Misfit.
Right.
Yeah. But y'all, there's always a but. A big one at that. An update is that there were several women ever since he put the video out have expressed interest in Darius. So, there was some, they want to hit him up on, want him to slide in their DM. So, hey, I wish him the best. I hope things work out. I hope they're good for him.
Right.
Hope they get the right motives.
Exactly.
Definitely right there. Yes, Carmelita, good for him. And there's truly someone for everyone. So we'll just have to see what's going to happen with that. He's internet famous for at least the time being. So let's just hope he takes advantage of this and hope everything works out well. Works out good. Wait, let me put this right here. I was the unwanted nerd in school. We understand. So Darius, if you're watching out there, we pray and wish you for the best. And hey, we'll interview you if you want to. Come join SBCC. Okay. Oh, okay. Moving right along. That was pretty good right there. Yeah, that was pretty good right there. So, okay. Up next. We've been in we talking about relationships. We've been in relationships. And there have been times where the other party has been generous in gifts and what have you, though. And sometimes things don't work out, but the person has a kind heart and says, hey, you can keep the gifts. You can keep this. You can keep that. You can just keep it, part on good terms, whatever. And then the person who has received the gift move on to someone else. But that person has an issue with you keeping that other person's gifts. So let us take a listen, y'all.
My ex bought me these Uggs. Like, I don't have to say that. Like, I need Uggs for the winter time. I'm not giving that back.
So like, maybe I can't afford to buy you red bottoms and Fendi and Gucci and Louis and Dior. I can't afford to do it. right? But he did all of that in the past, and every time we go out, you're wearing his stuff. It's a slap in the face to the guy that you're currently with.
To get your money up, it should be motivation.
First of all,
you got a bitch who's with you, who had that type of guy, and now she's with you. You should be like, damn, you know, I gotta step my game up.
I'm talking about principles here. The principle is that you are wearing memorabilia of your last relationship.
So you gonna tell me to return my shoes if you can't afford them?
I mean,
Bitch, I can't afford them either, but I got them, so why the fuck am I gonna get them back?
if you can't get yourself something, then you really shouldn't be carrying baggage from your last relationship. If you want to say, I could get my own pair of red bottoms, fuck these
But
red
I
bottoms.
worked for that. I was fucking that man when he bought me that.
That was
shit.
worth
That's my.
Yeah.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
I
So,
think the bleeps had to cover some stuff up there.
yeah. Returning expensive gifts, though. Is it fair for the? I mean, I know this is common sense right here, but look how Angela looking, y'all. I know this is common sense, y'all, but is it fair? Well, what do y'all think? Do you think it's some? What is it? I don't want to say insecurity on the new guy. You know, should he be like the young lady said? Well, if you don't like that, why don't you work to be able to buy her this or that? You know, what if it's a car? You know, go ahead, Angela.
I think it can be a level of insecurity. And at the same time, I think my bigger question is, how does he even know that those items came from another guy? If somebody has given me some things, I don't care if it's jewelry, clothing or whatever like that, why am I telling my new guy, yeah, this came from Todd over here. Yeah. And when we used to kick it here, this came from Jack and this right here. Why am I even disclosing that information? That's just information I need to keep to myself and keep rocking my items and going about my business. If somebody gives me a house, what I'm going to do? Give up my house? If somebody buys me a car and you can't afford a car, what are we going to do? Just sit there, hold hands and walk in the rain? No, I'm picking you up and you riding in the same car. Everyone that has former gifts, they still may not have the emotional attachment. So when you're talking about memorabilia, I may not have the memories necessarily still attached to that person. It could just be an item that I have to use because I'm in need of that item, you know? But if I feel that I have, you know, I'm still like, oh my gosh, I miss him. Oh, I remember when we were together, you know, then yeah, that's something I may need to do away with. But if somebody buy me a microwave, no, this is stuff heating up your food that I'm making. I'm not giving that up.
No. Shell, good to have you. I'm not returning nothing. It was before you, sir. Yes, Reggie said, like the old saying goes, the left hand doesn't need to know what the right hand is doing. Loose lips sink ships. Things are just things. Tarla from ATL, good to have you. They just want to flaunt it. And I agree. And pressure the new person to feel the need to buy them things. Now, that's a good flip on it. They might want to say, hey, yeah, my ex bought me this and that and whatever. So, you know, trying to hint to them or like we say, dry big or whatever, say, hey, you need to do this as well, though. You know, if you want to keep me. That's what I believe in. It's childish, yes, okay. Tiffany. Now, if she's throwing it in his face, i.e., look what so-and-so did for me, you can't even afford it, then that's a problem. If the item after a breakup is a trigger to me, I discard it before we ever get together. Listen, I will not return my dining room table.
Thank you. You want to come to my house and have dinner? What we going to do? Just sit on the floor? No. If you can't help afford the things for me, then listen, let's just have dinner and be at peace. Everybody doesn't need to know where your things came from. If they came from the Salvation Army, Goodwill, it does not matter. I'm not sitting there necessarily reminiscing like, oh, I remember when we had this quiet night and it was so beautiful, candlelight dinner. No, this is where I'm trying to have my morning coffee at, you know? So like Tiffany was saying, if she's throwing it up in his face to dry bag, like, you know what, you're not doing anything. My last man, he got me red bottoms and he got me this, he got me that. When you going to get me something? then that's a problem. She may not even be attached, emotionally to the items. She's just doing it to belittle the new man. And if you're doing it for that reason, then he needs to just bounce.
He might need to move on. Yeah, he might need to move on. Clarissa, I'm not telling who bought what for me. My next doesn't need to know who bought what for me. Teresa says, how does he know who got her those shoes? I have some nice gifts. I'm not giving them back. And Tiffany, so I'm supposed to throw away nice stuff. Would you return those Jordans and Gucci belts you acquired too?
All those cologne sets.
Oh, all those cologne sets. And we're not talking about Aspen and all that and nautical, not whatever, that
That's
cheap
right.
stuff. Yeah, yeah, wait a minute. PK, I had a situation like this, and my significant other at the time was mature enough to handle me keeping the items. And I think it shouldn't even be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue, though. I'm not going to try to make you say, well, you need to take that Macintosh back. Well, okay, am I going to replace that computer? You get what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I think the only time it may come up as an issue is if, let's say, you were still wearing a former engagement ring. Okay, if you're walking around, it's a beautiful diamond ring or something like that, and your man is like, hey, I noticed that ring, where'd you get that from? Because they know your level of income. And you're like, well, my ex, he got it for me. We were supposed to get married. Then I could see he may have a problem, because why are you still wearing an engagement ring? Is that now saying you have an emotional attachment, or you just like the piece of jewelry? That I could see you may need to have a conversation around. But maybe switch the finger, put it on a different one, and keep wearing your diamonds, girl.
Tiffany says, thank you, Angela. He walking around here smelling like his last 7 relationships. And he whining about my bedroom slippers and roll. Okay. Maybe his ex never gave, and true that. But those kitchen gadgets, furniture, and good shoes, no, just know that Santa dropped off these goodies. Let's partake and smile. Carmelita says, y'all in this quote dry begging. Where did that come from? I'm not up to these new terms. Okay, I tell you this, Carmelita. You may not know the name of the term, but you've experienced it. I'm sitting up there, you and I talking and I say, yeah, I sure wish I could get those new Jordans. Man, I'm just $20 short. Man, I don't know how I'm gonna do it though, but I think I'll get it some kind of way.
The Lord will make a way somehow.
And then so that trying to move you to say, well, Mike, look here, here's $20. Dry begging. That's what's called dry begging. Okay. Wait a minute. I think I heard. Let me see. Wait a minute. Yeah, she just answered it. Yeah, I heard stuff. Yeah, of course. We Bessemer folks, so we heard it. So okay, some things just I agree. I agree. Woo! That was a good one. We're gonna just stop with that one right there. We got one more. Y'all doing good. And none of y'all dry begging. So that makes it even better though, right there. So great. Let's get one more
subscribe, and share.
Oh, yeah. So come on. Thank you. We got one more. Okay. We're dealing with inflation right now. Everything has gone up. Okay. Food has gone up. Simple things gone up. And of course, entertainment has gone up. And so, before this bad inflation, even before the pandemic, going to the movie theater was already expensive as is, okay? Prior to all this. But now, just imagine how much it costs just to pay for the ticket. And we're not even going to get into the food, though. So pay attention to this, y'all. Okay. It has no sound though, because it has some music on there, but pay attention. You see that, don't you?
Oh, wow.
Yes. And she's saying she and husband going on a date night.
Oh, wow.
Yes. You see.
Uh-uh.
Look at that pseudo home. That's that pseudo home, y'all. She going there with rock good.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say at all.
It's nothing too much we can say. It's nothing too much we can say.
It's creative.
It again. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Clarissa. No. Thank you for that. No, don't do that. Don't do that now. No. Tia, come on. Ingenuity at its best. You know.
I mean, if I saw them walking down the street, I might be like, "Oh, your baby!" I'm like, "Oh Lord, look at all that stuff."
Look at that. I'm sitting with them. She said, "I'm sitting with them." I am speechless, though. I mean,
I'm just done right there. I have done some things. Okay, I have, made the chicken wingettes. I've packed the candy. I've done all of that and brought it inside and stuff. This was before they started checking all your bags and whatnot. And I would always use the excuse, "Listen, I got medication. Y'all can't be looking all through my bags." And then when you get inside, you start passing out the drinks and the wingettes, and I would have them all in Ziploc bags. Everybody had a bag with the candies, everything. But that's a whole nother level right there. That's a whole nother level.
I mean, those cost an arm and a leg. Yeah, it does cost an arm and a leg. And yes to everything but the cheese. Yeah, here it come. Come on, Angela, testify. Yes for the Wayne. Oh, boy, y'all need help. Y'all need professional help. All them wings and all that. But I mean, hey, that's ingenious. That's ingenuity, So,
it's an ideal, that's for sure.
For sure. I know. Well, guess what, Angela?
What's that?
That's it.
Time.
That's
right.
it. That's it,
good.
folks. Yeah, folks, we are out of time. We are definitely out of time. And of course, it's time for those announcements. So we're going to get started with it. So we're going to get with this, y'all. As soon as I can find the announcement.
Okay.
You want to do it, Angela?
I can if I see them.
Okay.
Okay, we want everyone to join us for our Tuesday Talk after party. It will be on Zoom. The link will be posted in the groups at 1:30. You don't want to miss it. Join in. And Saturday Night Social will be at 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time. That link will also be posted. Again, join in. You don't want to miss it. And again, we're going to be coming back next Tuesday, same space, same time for Tuesday Talk, 9:05 p.m. Eastern. Single Black Christians here on Facebook as well as YouTube.
Yes, that's very good. That's very good. Y'all have heard the radio announcements. Okay, though. You got any closing remarks, Sister Madison?
Hey, love yourself, love God, love one another. Take care.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sister Madison. Thank you all To the studio audience, thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all, and guess what? We'll see each other at the after party. It's gonna be early this week, believe it or not. Wow! So thank y'all so much. Thank you for your support. Y'all take care of each other, and if it's the Lord's will, we'll see each other next time. So until then, so long, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. You know, a lot of my brothers are dead and gone, but they've been hanging on the block a little too long. What can I say? I hope they live to see a brighter day. And the ones that are doing fine, God bless you, cause you're doing fine. At the end of the day, don't forget about me. As days turn to weeks, and weeks turn to years, oh, I feel for my brother. And as time passes by, I see you're not satisfied. Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. The street life used to be on, straight up hustling till the break of dawn. Taught me how to do wrong right. Everything is tight, but somehow things started to change. Try to get us straight up out of the game.